This is Ashley Hodge with the Sikkim 365 postgame call-in show, coming to you after Baylor's 68-48 win over Cincinnati. Man, what a victory. I just was really excited about the defensive performance that I saw tonight. I really want to talk mainly about defense. Offense was fine, but you hold a Cincinnati team to 48 points, 0.8 points per possession. That's terrific basketball. And I think there's a lot of shout-outs that need to be given on the defensive end. Really, everyone played well defensively, in my opinion. I thought the switching 1 through 5 was on point. I thought that Jaden Nunn was exceptional on the ball. I thought he, needs special recognition. He just really played a tremendous defensive game. And Jason Asamoah, he comes off the bench. And Emory, what did you think of that? I mean, that was impressive to me that he came off the bench and just, didn't make mistakes. He rebounded well. He was super active on defense. He played tough inside. I thought he gave Baylor 14 really good minutes that the box score just doesn't reflect the impact that he had on the game.
Right, yeah. I think, the more time that he gets, the more I'm liking him coming off the bench. I think he's very valuable to us.
Yeah, I agree. That was terrific. And I also want to point out another really valuable player for Baylor, and that was Dylan Mitchell for Cincinnati. 31 minutes. The Texas transfer was able to register a 0 offensive rating. I don't think I've seen that in a long, long time. In 31 minutes, he missed the only shot he took. He did have 2 rebounds, but he turned it over 4 times. So kudos to Dylan Mitchell for helping Baylor secure a win at the Foster. But in all seriousness, it has more to do with Baylor than it does Cincinnati. I thought, Cincinnati, they were a desperate team. They came in, they really needed a victory. Dan Skillings played well. He scores 18 points. He was really hot from 3, 5 for 7. A couple of those were open looks, but, a couple were pretty well contested. The Bears, they just got it done. Norchad Omier, death taxes. Norchad Omier, double-double. He has 18 and 10. Scott Drew mentioned this in his post-game comments, but he was just so efficient too. 168 offensive rating, only turns it over 1 time, 3 assists, had a couple really nice passes to set people up. Josh Ojewuna, another solid game from Josh, 10 points, 7 rebounds. You'll take that from him. Building on what he's already done in conference play, he had a really good game against Utah, and then, his best game, I think, was against Iowa State. Didn't show, in the final result, but I loved his effort in that game. He was a little gimpy at the end of the game. Hopefully nothing major, just a little tweak of the ankle. I'm expecting that, just based on he seemed to be walking fine. VJ, after not doing much offensively, explodes tonight. 18 points offensively. He's active like he is all games. 4 rebounds. He gets 2 assists. Only 1 turnover. I thought he was really good. He was steady. He makes his free throws. Norchad makes his free throws. Norchad gets ridiculed for not shooting the 3 well, and then tonight he's 1 for 1, made his only shot that he took. The Bears ended up 36% on the night. Rob Wright's going to be joining us here shortly. Rob's going to be hosting calls, so call-in shows are always better with calls. Have you heard that before, Emory?
That I have.
Do we have any calls in the hopper yet?
Yes, I believe we have Paula.
Let's hear it.
Paula, do you have a question for us?
Welcome to the postgame call-in show with Ashley Hodge, and soon to be Rob Wright in a couple minutes. You might be on mute. You got to make sure you unmute the on the app. That's one thing that is, I think, something people forget to do. Can you hear us, Paula? Okay, we might have a muted situation. There's the man, Rob. How you doing? All right, so pull up in this chair and speak right into the mic. Good to see you. Thanks for doing this. Yep, I got your jersey. I'm showing support tonight.
I appreciate that.
Is Paula disconnected?
Yes. She is.
Any other calls in the queue?
Nope, not at the moment.
Right. Again, call-in shows are better with calls, so let's hear your calls. Well, Rob, good game. We talked about the defense before you came in. I mean, this is probably the best defensive performance we've had all year. Would you say that's true?
I definitely think so. We definitely stopped their shooters from just getting open shots and like that.
Yeah.
And just stopping their big guy from getting too many lobs and dunks.
Right. You made a couple veteran. I know it's probably not your normal, game from a stat perspective, but you did a good job drawing the foul on their big guy early, maybe in the first half, at the end of the first half. Yeah. And then very savvy move at the end of the game, giving Davidson Hubbard the turnover, which I think they counted as a team turnover.
I was going to say, it's a team turnover. Everybody was on the bench was yelling to me to give it to him. So I just listened to them.
You see that in the NBA a lot, obviously. And Rob's already pulling out the veteran moves with the end of the game turnover handoff. But, do you feel like what was the scout coming into this game? Obviously a disappointing result against Iowa State. You played well, I thought, except for shoot. You just didn't shoot it well that game.
Not making shots. You talking about Iowa State or this game, right?
Well, after the Iowa State game,
leading to this game, it was really just to do whatever it takes to get the win, just defend and guard, and just make it tough for Skillings and then their other guys, and just make sure they didn't get too many open looks, and just make it a hard shooting night for them.
Yeah. Skillings went off a little bit. He was 5 for 7 from 3, but other than that, they had a lot of, pretty mediocre offensive performances. You did a good job on Simas. He's a guy that's capable of really putting up some big numbers offensively, and you hold him to 5 points. Their guards, Jizzle James only has 5 points. Day Thomas, 6 points. It looks like there's a little bit of talking going on. Were they was there some of that with Day and Jizzle? Do you have any experience playing against those guys at all?
My older team, with team final, they played Jizzle, so I've seen them before on the circuit, but I've never played against them. That was my first time.
Okay, yeah,
it was cool though.
Right. Let's talk about Jason Asamoah, because I know Scott Drew in the post-game comments mentioned what a great defensive performance he gave, and just energy, did really well rebounding the ball.
Yeah.
Like he mentioned that in the locker room after the game. What was said specifically, just in regards to Asamoah's performance?
Just letting him know that the work that he's putting in is starting to show, and then just keep bringing energy to the team and just keep fighting for minutes, and then just playing hard while he's out there. And he's just been doing that, and he'll definitely be in a rotation moving forward. Yeah,
he really helped us. Those are some big men. The stats don't really represent.
I think he had like a plus 18, Coach Drew said.
Plus 18, yeah, that's outstanding.
And he didn't score, so
right.
It shows his worth on the court.
Yeah, he was exceptional. And I thought, you played great defense. Jeremy played great defense. VJ, Norchad, Josh, the whole team. But I really want to give a shout out to Jaden. I was watching him, his on the ball defense. He seems like he's just like notched it up another level. Would you say that's true?
He definitely notched it up another level, because even we watched film from him playing defense last year. He's just way more tenacious on defense and just trying to stop the other opponent.
Right. Yeah, he did a good job. It's good to see. Obviously, you go back to the beginning of the season, Gonzaga. We look like a totally different team tonight with the switching 1 through 5. All right, I do have one question. The only real lapse that I saw tonight was the one possession that I think he switched to zone, and Skillings got an open 3.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the miscommunication. Norchad didn't hear the call. So he, somebody cut through. I think number 41 cut through, and he followed him. And then we was all looking like, oh, snap.
Okay. Yeah. So just a miscommunication on the Was that a zone look, though, when you came down?
Yeah, that was supposed to be zone. That play.
Okay.
It was supposed to be zone.
Yeah. Well, outstanding performance. All right, I got a lot of questions for you. Emory, do we have any calls that are lined up?
I believe we have one.
Okay.
Boxster.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's Jeff.
Boxster.
Welcome to the post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge and Rob Wright, the third.
To unmute your mic.
Yeah, we have I guess on that app, they Jack mentioned this, that you have to unmute so that we can hear you. All right, while Boxer's figuring that out, I have a lot of confidence that he will. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
All right, this is from Scotty B, the Baylor King. He says, what have you learned the most about being at Baylor so far? Talk about your evolution as a basketball player. Would you say, you made the most progress on the defensive end since you got here?
Yeah, I definitely would say Coach Drew just helped me, just showing me film of guys like Davion and them, like that 21 team.
Yep.
And just how they were guarding and just how they were playing defense together as one unit.
Right.
He definitely helped me with just learning how to just play better defense and just move my feet and stuff like that.
Okay. Yep. Which pro do you compare your game to? Do you have a guy that you like to emulate?
I would say I don't know. I take some stuff from a couple guys in the NBA, like Chris Paul. I like to try to pass like him, and then just guys like Dame. I'll be trying to like just shot making ability, just trying to work on stuff like that, and then just finishing like Kyrie and Darius Garland. Two guys I like to watch for finishing.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this to the guys I was watching the game with tonight, but there's a couple of hidden assists in your game tonight. And what I mean by that, like I don't know if you remember one play, you're in the paint.
Yeah.
And you put up a shot, but it drew two defenders to you, or Josh and Norchad I think had another one that was a situation similar to that. I mean, those are plays that, in my mind, it's just like having an assist. I mean, you don't get the credit for it, but it's a missed shot, but it gets the result that you want. You get a bucket at the end of the day. Are any calls still on there?
I think we got Boxster. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you barely, but can you hear me?
Okay.
I can. Can y'all?
I can hear him faintly. Yes.
Okay.
What's your question, Jeff?
Okay. Yeah. First, I'll just tell Robert that I sat by one of his sets of grandparents in the Bahamas, and they are so cool. Grandmom's the best fan, and your granddad was quiet and proud. And anyway, it was really fun sitting with them and watching them enjoy your exploits.
Appreciate that a lot.
And I guess my question is, this team, there's a lot of new guys, and we know what we have in our top 8. We're learning real quick what we have with our top 8 guys. Love them, need some time to come together still and get healthy. But, I guess as a fan, I don't know the rest of the guys. They're new. They don't get playing time. Kind of tell me, are these guys practicing hard? Are they helping y'all get better in practice? Are they kind of a key part of the team that we just don't get to see perform?
Yeah, they definitely help us every day in practice. Leading up to this past game the other day when they were running the scout for Cincinnati, I think they definitely prepared us and gave us a great look at what it was going to look like. They definitely don't back down from us in practice, and there's days where they compete with us and try to win on that side.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And you have you got some GAs that can play a little too,
We definitely do. Trent.
Yeah.
Be coming out there and getting buckets a lot.
He played at Southern Mississippi Southwest Missouri State, maybe.
Yeah.
He played some college basketball.
Yeah, he did. He played 4 years D1.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's good. He definitely helps us too.
I know other guys that we've had in here have talked about the impact that the GAs make on the program. Mm-hmm. And do you have one specifically that you're calling to say, hey, I want to go get shots up with? And
Connor Stasio,
yep.
He helps me all the time. From the summer to now, just whenever I call him, just helping me get shots up, to get whatever, like just working on my game. So
right.
He's the main one that's been helping me really.
Yeah. And you got a team that works hard, but Scott did in an interview I heard maybe before the season specifically pointed out you and Norchad as guys that just live in the gym and you just are so hungry to get better. Like what is a normal day for you? Like now that the season's going on, do you still try to get up a certain amount of shots every day?
Yeah. So like this morning, before the game, I worked out at like 9:00 at the gym. Just got like 100 catch and shoot makes, working on finishing, things like that. And then just finish with like some off the dribble screenshots and things like that. And that was really it for like pregame. And then I came back on the court like 70 minutes.
Yep.
And tried to get some shots before we had to be on by 60. So just trying to make sure I just keep staying in the gym.
Right.
Like
yeah. Did you happen to catch? This isn't a question that's been asked on the thread, and I'll get to those questions. But did you happen to catch that interview about Ray J. Dennis and him? I think the league him. Interview. You may not have.
I think I've seen it. I got sent some clips of it, but I didn't catch the full thing.
Well, they just talked about, he's just a guy that just, despite, he's got some physical limitations.
Yeah.
And, he came to Baylor. He started at Boise State, Toledo, Baylor, and then now he's on an NBA roster. And the guys just love playing with him, and he just wins. I mean, he's a guy that's hard to get off the court. Like, as a point guard, how do you measure your success? I mean, stats. I mean, everybody talks about stats, but I mean, I know you probably value like the respect of your teammates and winning more than that. Like, is that
definitely being a point guard? You can't really worry about stats too much. You just gotta do whatever it takes to win. It's like some nights it might not be at night, so you just gotta whoever like VJ's rolling today, just gotta make sure he's getting the ball and getting those shots. And just with Norchad, he's always trying to roll. So like just making sure he's into the game and just fighting, and we all fighting together.
Yeah, and you're really exceptional. We've noticed this and talked about it on our message boards at that pick and roll at the top, and especially with Norchad, how you're able to catch him in stride and get him some easy points. I mean, it seems like there's always a couple of plays per game that you
we
set
just try to
up.
work on that. Like after practice, we'll get some reps with it.
Yep.
So just trying to stay fresh and just keep it.
There. Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you for the question, Boxster. Any other calls on hold right now, Emory?
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay. Again, if you're listening to this, there is a thread on Sikkim 365 Premium with Rob Wright that you can click on that link. Make sure you're unmuted, and you can ask your question. We would love to get questions. All right, so I do have a bunch of other written questions for you here. All right, so this is from Jake, I think is. It says, you seem to have made a good adjustment from high school to college. Love watching you play. What are two things that have surprised you most in games? Like as far as your adjustment to college, like what's surprising to you?
Really probably the media timeouts.
Okay.
Because like in high school, like it would be times where like if the coach don't call a timeout, you just going up and down. And then it's quarters, so it's like different. So probably like just the 20-minute halves and just how long you could be out there. And then sometimes when the ball don't stop and like it's not the media yet and guys just tired and it's like the game, you could just see it like dying down, the energy's dying down. So really I would say that's one. And then the other one, just like how fast you got to bond with the team and just because nowadays like you can have a new team each year. So just trying to build chemistry quick. That's the two things I learned. Yeah,
that's good. All right, this is a Skeeter Bear. He says, compare and contrast the difference in the feelings between the loss at Iowa State with the win at home versus Cincinnati. And he was being quite prophetic because he asked this question a few hours before the game started. So, but it ended up being true.
Yeah.
Just that's the emotion of college basketball, right? You feel
you
feel like your team's in a free fall after a 20-point loss, and you probably feel on top of the world after a 20-point win, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just in the Big 12, you got a game like the 3-day turnaround, so you just got to be ready. So Coach Drew just always try to keep that in mind. And then we know Iowa State, we just missed a lot of shots, so we couldn't even beat ourselves up too much. Yeah. And just know that we're still the same team. We just didn't have a good shooting night at all.
Right. Yeah, and I was at that UConn game. I'm gonna be at both the games in Arizona. Like I just thought, we obviously losing Jeremy in the second half and not having VJ for that game. They didn't have Caravan, so that probably is an equalizer. But that was a heck of a game, and you played them really tough and had your chance to win.
Yeah.
And that's kind of your home.
That
closer
was
to
kind of
home, right?
For me. I
you had a lot of
family
people there.
A lot of people there. So it was a nice. And then playing against a high school teammate, Liam, it was fun out there.
Right.
Just playing against those guys. It was something.
Would you say that environment was a little bit better than the Iowa State environment in your mind? Or?
Yeah, it definitely was. Just because Iowa State, it was like one moment in the gym where it was super, super loud.
Students weren't there.
Yeah, students weren't there, so it wasn't the same as when we played at UConn. It was loud in there.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
And then how does the Gonzaga? I wasn't at that game.
That was probably the loudest
really?
game this season. It was a bunch of fans in there. The ground was like shaking after they hit threes. Like it was just crazy.
And they rolled you, so everybody's excited. Yeah. I know you'd love to get them in the tournament, get some get back on them. All right, Martin Hall says, "What's been the most enjoyable part about playing for Baylor so far?"
Most enjoyable part is just building a bond with the guys, really just getting to be friends with these guys and knowing that we could be friends for the rest of our lives and things like that. So just really just coming in every day, just happy to be next to the guy that's on the team with me. Really, that's the biggest.
Are you rooming with VJ? Is that right?
Yeah, VJ, me and VJ share rooms. And I already knew him before coming here, so like we already had chemistry and things like that.
Yeah, that's great.
We got a couple of questions from this. First, we got T-Rex.
Hey, T-Rex. Welcome to the post-game call-in show. Ashley Hodge and Rob Wright III.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me? I hope so.
We can hear you. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Well, first off, I just want to say, Rob Wright, keep it up. You're doing awesome. Appreciate you being a Bear. Great win tonight, and that's revenge for our sweet King Harambe. How dare you, Cincinnati? How dare you? Sick 'em Bears. That's all I got.
I appreciate that. Thank you a lot.
Oh, no question. Just a comment. This is the wildest I've heard T-Rex. That's good. All right. Any other? We got another call.
We've got Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. Welcome to the Postgame Call-In Show with Ashley Hodge and Rob Wright III.
Hey, y'all. How are y'all doing tonight? Rob, just a quick shout-out to you.
Make sure
really
you're not
enjoy watching
unmuted.
you play. Just your hustle and attitude. Just a lot of fun to watch you play and be in the Baylor jersey. Take the focus off of basketball for just a second.
Here we go.
I view Waco as just a slept-on city for multiple reasons. Food scene, the quality of entertainment that's around the city. Obviously, I view Baylor as slept on as well. I think that we're a sleeping giant. What would you think is just give me a couple of items that Rob Wright goes on a Friday night that he might have off? Obviously, you're at the facility a lot. Maybe a couple of restaurants that are your go-to, some of the things that you enjoy most about being in Waco and living there and having your college experience in Waco, Texas.
I'd definitely say probably like the movie theater. I've been there a lot. Topgolf, been there with the team and guys like that. And then just food spots. I'll be going to like Texas Raw sometimes or BJ's. That's two spots that I'll be going to.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I remember talking to, I can't even remember his name. It was somebody at Montverde, and he was just raving about how not only are you an outstanding basketball player, but the students just love you. Like, you're a great student. Like, you're, probably the most popular guy on campus. Whether you were a science nerd or an athlete, people just felt like they could connect to you, and you just, did a really good job with that. And I'm playing pickup basketball with some guys that were talking about, Tristan Wilson's, Dad was talking about this, Brent Wilson, about how you kind of connected with some of the local guys. Yeah. I think did they teach you how to drive or something like that? Or did you not have your driver's license?
Yeah, I didn't have my license in the summer, so Luke was letting me just get some reps in his car in the parking lot.
Nice.
So, yeah.
They said, you connected with them and just found some guys in Waco to hang, just just want to be a part of the community. I mean, is that just who you are?
Yeah, I mean, coming from a small city, that's just who I am, kind of like just always met a lot of people and new friends, and then just having a lot of siblings, I just know I relate with a lot of different people. Yeah. Because, each person is different, so it's pretty easy for me.
Right. I know this is, it's a great time to be an athlete. I mean, NIL, but there's pressures that come with that. You're getting money, next year. I mean, obviously, every Baylor fan wants you to, spend their entire career here, and I know you're going to be a top priority for Baylor basketball to, build the program around you. But, do you have people in your ear constantly, even during the season, whether it's agents or, just fans of other schools DMing you, come here, we want you to be our point guard. I mean, does that happen to you quite a bit?
I think on Instagram, I'll be looking through the comments and just mention sometimes, and I'll be seeing stuff other schools and things like that.
Right.
But for the most part, I don't really be getting too much stuff. Mostly just Baylor fans and things like that.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. So, any other calls waiting, Emory?
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay. Again, if you're listening, you can hit that link and you can call in. Just make sure you're unmuted when you do. All right, this is a question from Dr. Pierce, MPH. I love it when you drive to the hoop and finish. I'm curious about how you deal with being blocked mid-game from a mentality standpoint. You're fearless. You do. I mean, obviously, you can get some shots blocked, and I think you had one tonight, but maybe more in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
You're adjusting pretty quick to that.
Definitely, I would just say last year, I mean, when I first went to Montverde, just playing against guys like Cooper, it just helped me learn how it just happens sometimes because guys just beat you to the spot or just you don't think they're going to jump and then they do. So just having a one-play mentality and just moving on to the next play, I would say.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Mick Berenstein asks, what's your favorite place to eat in Waco? You answered that already. So you said Roadhouse and BJ's. What's the craziest basketball game you've ever been involved in?
The craziest ever? Probably either Philly Catholicly when we play Roman in the Final Four versus Dan Skillins, or I would say.
Dan was Dan was
yeah,
on that
he was
team?
a senior. I was a sophomore,
yeah.
and we upset them in the Palestra. So
yeah.
And then I would say last year, Prolific versus Montverde at our home. It was crazy. It was like we was down like 2 points with like 30 up to a minute left. And I had like scored 2 baskets in a row and then got a big charge and we won the game. So it was crazy.
Nice. Very cool. All right, what do you enjoy more, throwing the perfect alley-oop or hitting a step-back three?
I would definitely say the alley-oop definitely brings the fans into it more, and then just the defense is probably just more like upset and just thinking about it more. It's loud in the arena. The step-back three, it depends. I mean, game winner step-back three is probably more crazy, but just a regular step-back three, nah, I'd rather get the alley-oop.
Yeah. All right, somebody's trying to be funny here. If you drove in the lane and Ashley, that's me, was standing by himself for a wide open corner three, do you finish in the paint or do you pass it to somebody else?
Definitely, just it depends on the situation.
Yeah. That's an appropriate question today. I play some pickup basketball and I had a really good day yesterday, and today I was about 1 for 13. So you would be wise to pass it to somebody else. All right, Star Joel Bello says you've been one of the most college-ready freshman point guards I've ever seen, with your offense translating seamlessly to the college game. You were a steadying presence as early as the first half of the Gonzaga game, and you're already the player I want the ball in their hands during end-of-half situations. However, I have a question about the other end of the floor. What's your biggest defensive adjustment for you as a freshman transitioning from high school to Division I? Is it the complexity of scouting reports, communicating ball screen coverages, mental intensity, or something else entirely?
It's definitely just the switching defense. Just at first, last year we didn't play like a switching defense. We kind of just got to and just locked on our own man. So just learning that and then just trying to pick up just learning everybody and then just talking and things like that and trying to figure it out. So now we've been repping it a lot in practice. So like it's been getting easier for me. So I would definitely say it's just switching everything that was just bothering me a little bit. But I'm good now.
They weren't able to really take advantage of the times when they got big guys, like UB, again, they're 7-footer would have you pinned. But was it because, I'd have to go back and watch the film, but do you think it was because our ball pressure is a lot better?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things that coach has been preaching a lot, just making sure we have good ball pressure. So if they do get the pass, it's kind of like a lob or it's not a good pass to just get an easy basket. So we definitely just been adjusting to that and just trying to apply more ball pressure.
Like I would say, we didn't do a really good job of that in Gonzaga to be captain obvious.
Yeah, it was like first game, so like
they were like getting anything they wanted from a post entry pass, but like tonight even like there was only maybe a handful of times where they were able to get the ball.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, it was exceptional. All right, Bear Verdad, why are you so committed to staying at Baylor for at least 2 more years? And why are you willing to put it in contractual writing that you can't back out of on the show tonight? He says, okay, a guy can dream. All right, just talk about Baylor. Do you, what's your experience been? Do you love it here? Do you see?
I mean, I definitely love it because it's just a nice city. Like, it's not too much going on, and I've never really been a big person. Like, just having a huge city and just stuff going on all the time. So I like it's just chill and it's just laid back. So I like it a lot. And
Montverde, that was maybe your first time away from the East Coast, right?
Yeah, that was the first time.
It's on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was kind of. It was like down in Florida, so it was definitely my first time away from the East Coast and away from home. So it was a big learning experience for me. So this was kind of easier, I would say.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. All right, this isn't a question that we received, but I'm just curious on NIL. What do you like? Are you trying to save your money? Are you trying to spend a little bit of it? Like, how do you balance that?
I have a financial advisor who kind of like really just helps me, like not just go crazy and things like that, but also I'm not too big of a spender. I save a lot of money, so that's not really a problem for me because I don't like too much stuff. I'm not really that flashy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Did you buy a car though? Was that one of the first things you did?
That was the one thing. Yeah. That was like the one thing I did to get because I needed to get around.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is Sailor Bexar. Thank you, Ashley, for hosting the postgame show. What has been the biggest on-court adjustment coming from high school to college so far. I think we covered that. Defense,
Yeah.
I mean, is that the biggest
that was
thing?
the biggest thing.
Yeah. Does the team feel that the poor shooting night against Iowa State was a result of the strong defense by Iowa State, or more so just we missed shots?
We more so thought it was just us missing shots because we were getting open shots. It wasn't like we were getting like contested, heavily contested shots. So we just think it was just an off night at a away crowd.
Right.
Just had been a while, and we were down 2 guys, so we didn't really
Right.
know how to react and things like that, I would say.
Yeah. Do you ever see this a Twitter account, shot quality? Have you ever noticed that?
Nah, I've never seen that one.
So they'll look at like the actual shots you take
Uh-huh.
based on the percentage of the people that are taking the shots
Mm-hmm.
and what the score should have been based on that.
Yeah.
And they did say after the Iowa State game that it should have been like Baylor 78, Iowa State 73,
Yeah.
just based on the quality of shots. And I'm sure the film probably
Yeah, film definitely showed that
justified
because I think in that game we actually like went up as a defense, like in our defensive rating or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really score the ball that well versus us. They just the times they did shoot, they just made like half of their shots.
Right.
But they didn't
Right.
get a lot of shots up.
Yeah, and you've done a good job not turning the ball over. I think you had maybe 11 tonight, but like 11 before those came in like the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Garbage time. So, that's a good. You've been really good at taking care of the ball and also turning other teams over. Turned them over 15 times tonight, so that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really a great win. Have you been to the state of Arizona before? Did you? Is this your 1st
I've
time?
been to Phoenix for EYBL session one time. So
okay.
but I don't think I've never been to Arizona State.
Tucson or Arizona
man.
State. Yeah, so this will be your first time for that road trip. What does that involve? Like, well, you may not even know, but like I know, have you had? Well, the Bahamas was an extended road trip, but like this one, you're just gonna stay there, for a few days,
I'm
right?
pretty sure we're going to stay there or like just practice somewhere, like
Okay.
find a way. So
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work. They haven't let us know yet.
Right.
But we'll find out soon.
Yeah. Well, there's some connections at Grand Canyon with Scott's brother,
Yeah.
and you scrimmage them. So maybe there's some things in the works at Grand Canyon as far as practice time's concerned. But
Yeah.
well, I'll be excited to watch you. Before we close it out, Emery, do we have any other calls?
Yeah, we have Dan.
Awesome.
Dan, can you hear us?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Great. Hey, Rob, really enjoy watching you play basketball. So glad to have you at Baylor. Just wanted to ask you a question about your teammate tonight. Jason had a plus minus of plus 18, which actually led the team. So how exciting is that to see him? Because he hasn't gotten a whole lot of run lately, but to see him step up, and he didn't have, I don't know if he scored any points, but he played a lot of great defense and had some good rebounds. Just wanted to get your feedback on his performance tonight.
I mean, I think it was definitely exceptional, definitely great. He didn't score the ball like you said, but he helped us in many ways, and he was a big reason why the game looked the way it did today, even though it doesn't probably show in the box score. So I definitely think that he's taking a big step forward, just learning and off the court, just doing good as well.
And if I'm not mistaken, did you have a follow-up comment on that question?
No, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. If I'm not mistaken, I think Norchad had 2 fouls, Josh had 2 fouls, and VJ had 2 fouls. Like when Jason was playing a lot of those minutes in the first half. So, yeah, for him to rebound the way he did and defend the way he did, I mean that could have really been a point in the game where we had some vulnerability there.
Sure.
With obviously some really important guys on the bench, and especially height. A lot of height on the bench, but. Yeah, he really came through for us in a big way.
Yeah, he definitely came through today.
Yeah. Well, outstanding win. You should be proud. I hope you have a successful road trip to Arizona.
I appreciate
it would be
that.
great to get a couple wins on the road
Yes,
and get this thing rolling. Can you make any comments on Langston and Jalen? Do you think we'll get them back soon, or
I
how are they?
believe they've both been doing good, like with their recovery and
Rehab,
things like
yeah.
that. And I heard Jalen said his ankle is feeling a lot better.
Good.
So
Yeah.
He definitely should be probably good. I don't really know.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I know you're not a team doctor. We just
yeah.
People will be curious to know that. And well, hey, listen, you've been listening to a Sikkim 365 post game call-in show. Ashley Hodge and Rob Wright. Really enjoyed watching you play this year, and can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds, and hopefully a very fruitful career at Baylor. As long as we have you, I know you've got pro aspirations like everyone does, and you're certainly on track to do that. But hope we get to see you in a Baylor uniform for a long time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
As I'm repping the number one tonight,
yes, sir.
that's you're a big part of what's making this such a fun time to root for you. And thank you for all you poured into the program.
Thank you for having me.